don't know how many steps there are. I'm not going to count them. I think I'm lost. And it's absolutely huge. And welcome back to my channel. You joined me for that little cafe that I found the other day. I've got a cup of tea. I do like a cup of tea. I've also got an full English fry-up as well, full English breakfast. Sausage, bacon, mushrooms, beans, egg, toast. I don't normally have a fry-up, but I thought I'd treat myself today. I'm not sure when I'm going to get a chance to eat later, so I thought, well, I'll just have a larger breakfast, just in case. The breakfast roll I had here a few days ago really filled me up, and hoping this full English breakfast will do the same. This is my last day in London. I've been here for about a week. But due to the weather, I haven't been able to get out and film as much as I would have liked to. So I've been looking at art galleries for the past few days. Not very exciting for a video, but it's exciting for my mind. I like looking at artworks and museums and things. But today I'm going to head up towards Greenwich, probably go up on the boat again, and explore Greenwich, and look around the Cutty Sark, perhaps go up to the Greenwich Observatory and have a wander around before heading back to Stratford to catch my coach home. In the meantime, I'm going to finish my breakfast. This tastes so good. Way to travel. This is nice. There's only about 6-7 other people on the boat. It's crazy just how few tourists there are around. There's got a lot of people milling around the London Eye yesterday afternoon. I guess when it opens in the afternoon, it's always been a popular tourist attraction. But travelling down the Thames here on an Uber boat really is rather nice, and I said that in my earlier videos, but it really is nice, and it's quiet. There's no noise on the boat from other passengers. There's no screaming kids. It's just a very civilized way to travel, and yeah, I could really get used to this. I do like boats. I know I've featured boats quite a few times on my previous videos, various marinas that I've been to, and it's really rather nice. And the sun's come out as well. It looks as though it's going to be a pleasant day. There's no wind about. A little bit breezy the last few days, but and wet. Got stuck in the caught in a rain shower a few times.
Please be aware, this boat will now operate at high speed. Passengers are to take care when moving around the vessel, only leaving your seat when necessary. Thank you.
High speed? Oh, this sounds fun. Oh yeah, we're going a lot faster now. Ooh. Definitely reminds me of the ferries that used to go across, that used to travel on back in the late 90s between Hong Kong and Macau. Those turbo cats really did get up to some speed for the hour-long crossing. This is also a catamaran, two-hulled vessel, and oh, we're going quite fast now. This is rather fun. I don't actually want to get to Greenwich now. I want to stay on the boat all day and go back up and down to
to Westminster and back a few times, but no, I'll get off at Greenwich as I intended and have a walk around. I think it's going to be a nice day, so we'll get out and explore. In the meantime, I'm going to enjoy this boat ride. Wow, 30 minutes from Westminster, or from the London Eye, all the way down to Greenwich. That's absolutely fantastic. And only £8.20 as well. Only £7.20 to go from London Eye down to Bankside. So £8.20 is quite a lot. It's quite good value for money, really. But now that we're here in Greenwich, we can explore. There goes the boat whizzing off further down the Thames. They carry 176 passengers when they're full. There are 170 short today on this trip. There's just nobody travelling. It's quite amazing. Wow. Well, wow, there's the Cutty Sark, which is an old tea clipper. Used to do the routes from England to Australia and back, and she's one of the fastest clipper ships to do the journey. She was manufactured in 1869 for Jack Willis and Company and launched on the River Leven in Dunbartonshire. And she's been moored up here in Greenwich since 1954. And she looks absolutely marvellous. Absolutely incredible. She underwent a renovation a few years ago, and they put this glass cladding around the front, around the base of the ship. I remember coming here with our grandfather about 35, 40 years ago, probably a bit longer than that. And she was in a dry dock. It looks absolutely terrific today. She looks as though she's floating on the water with the glass surround. I think that's probably the idea. Quite a magnificent ship indeed. I was so engrossed at looking at the Cutty Sark, I didn't notice behind me the entrance to the Greenwich Foot Tunnel. This was built in, work commenced back in 1899 and it opened in 1902. The lifts were installed in 1904. It was designed by Alexander Binney and built by the civil engineering company John Cochrane and Co. Quite nice wide steps. Quite a difference to the St Mary's Church tower that went up yesterday. That's quite nice. Wow. Bit of an echo on here as well. The noise of other people. There we go, at the bottom of the stairs. There we go, walking in the Greenwich Foot Tunnel, which links Greenwich to Poplar on the other side. Oh. Just walk a little further down. I won't go all the way. There we go. Nearly halfway now under the River Thames. Probably an Uber boat above me. But there we go, let's go back up to Greenwich side. Wow, it's quite interesting down here. I've walked through here before. I used to have friends who lived just the other side of the Poplar. So I used to walk down to the park on the other side of the tunnel and then walk across to Greenwich. Occasionally go for a pub lunch. It was always nice. But there we go, wow. back up the steps. I don't know how many steps there are. I'm not going to count them. And there we are. Back out into Greenwich again. Ah, that was a bit of fun. Do like exploring things. It's always good fun. Wow, rather puffed out after walking up those steps. Mind you, I did walk up at a quite a quick pace. So now, let's head on it into Greenwich and up towards the park and see what we can discover on the way. I quite like Greenwich, and the sun's still shining, which is brilliant. Just been having another look round the outside of the Cutty Sark, just admiring the rigging on the masts. Absolutely amazing. But there's just spotted another cannon here. I do like seeing bits of artillery when I'm on my travels. This is a Turkish gun, dates from 1790, and looks rather splendid, mounted just there. Just over 5 tons in weight as well. Wow. It's really rather impressive. And just up ahead there's a statue of Sir Walter Raleigh. Well, if you saw my last video, walking around Palace of Westminster and Buckingham Palace, I talked about his execution in Old Palace Yard, next to the Houses of Parliament. Quite a befitting statue there. He was, of course, one of our great circumnavigators and explorers. So even though he fell out of favour at the end of his life, he should be remembered for his achievements circumnavigating the globe. I do regard him as one of the great figures in British history. But now I'm heading up towards the Naval College. This is quite built in the reign of George III. Really is rather spectacular. A splendid building, I should say. A very splendid building. The sun is shining. What more could I ask? Absolutely brilliant. The architecture around here in Greenwich really is quite splendid. They certainly knew how to build iconic, or design iconic buildings in those days. Far different to anything that's designed today. It's all glass and steel girders. This really does have a lot of character to it, especially the domes there of the building. I'm sure some of you will find the appearance of the towers quite familiar. Anybody who watched the 2012 film called Les Miserables? Well, the battle scene at the end of the film, the climactic scenes, were all filmed here in Greenwich, in the square just behind me. They transformed the square behind me into that battle scene, and wow, what a backdrop! It's quite beautiful up here. We're heading up now the Greenwich Observatory in the distance, and that's where I'm going next, to take a look at the observatory and walk in the park. We haven't been there for, well, about 35-40 years since I was last there, so it's probably changed a little bit. Well, probably not, but it really is beautiful. And the gates ahead seem to be locked. Now how do I get out? I'm locked in. I'm locked in, Greenwich. I'm locked in. Oh dear, oh dear. I don't know if this works or not. No. Let's go this way. Some people are coming from this direction. So let's see if I can find a way out down here. I think I'm lost. How can I get lost walking around in Greenwich? There must be a door somewhere, a gate that leads out onto the main road so I can cross into the park. Oh, this is daft. This really is daft. Oh well, I'll walk back round to the front and find another way. Well, I've made it to Greenwich Park. What a palaver that was. I was going in the right direction, but I was going in the wrong direction at the same time, because even though where I wanted to go, which was the observatory, was directly ahead of me, also ahead of me was all the locked gates, so I had to go back round through the car park and back round to where I started from, and go out the side gates, and then walk up the side of the road next to the building that I just walked through. Yeah, I'm lost as well. There we go. I'm here in Greenwich Park, and it's turning into a lovely day. It's getting rather warm. There's no wind. There's no rain. And there's not many people around either, which is even better. You can just enjoy the peace and the quiet of the nature as I walk or amble. Take an amble. I haven't taken an amble for a long while. I'm going to amble up towards the Greenwich Observatory. But yeah, there's no rush. Yeah, this is nice. Shame I live so far from Greenwich, because it's one area of London that I never really come to. I'm always in central London, always down sort of Covent Garden, Westminster, Victoria, and up towards Holborn and Barbican areas, Liverpool Street. So I'm never out in the suburbs. So perhaps I should venture out a little more. So if you know somewhere in the London area, inside the M25, that will give me a great day out, then drop a comment in the comment section below and let me know, and I'll investigate. There's only one condition though: there has to be a nice cafe there so I can get a cup of tea. I do like a cup of tea, a slice of cake. So hopefully I'm going to find a cafe up here and get a cup of tea, because it's rather parched. It's about 2 hours since breakfast. What a delightful little tree-lined avenue. Quite delightful. And a party of school kids. Oh dear. It was peaceful. Never mind. I remember my school trips. They're a lot noisier. Let's walk past these kids, this school trip, and head on up to the observatory. It's nice to get away from those noisy school kids. Sounds like it's on the set of a St. Trinian's film. What an appalling noise. But walking up this hill, you get a nice view of the observatory. It was completed in 1676. The architect was Robert Hooke and Sir Christopher Wren. They also designed the monument to the Great Fire of London, which featured in one of my earlier videos. But wow, come up to the observatory. Really rather amazing. Wow. Just through these gates on the right is the actual observatory. And on the ground there's a line
and that marks the Meridian. That's the GMT line, Greenwich Mean Time. That's the line by which all time zones around the world are measured. So if you're in Hong Kong and you're 7 hours ahead, plus 7 GMT, you're 7 hours ahead of London time, which is measured from that line there, the Greenwich Mean Line, Greenwich Mean Time. GMT came about in 1847 and standardised time across the UK and eventually around the world. And there's even a clock on the wall which has the correct time according to Greenwich Mean Time. There we go, absolutely lovely. The Royal Observatory here in Greenwich. I've got a cup of tea. I thought I'd sit down for a few minutes and take the weight off my feet after walking up here from the Thames. It's only £2.40 for a cup of tea. I paid £2.10 in St James's Park the other day, and I paid £3.28 at a cafe. Seemed a lot of money. They added on a service charge rather sneakily onto the £3 charge. But the little cafe here didn't take cash, only took card. So many places these days are only taking card. This is part of these stupid COVID regulations. They can't take cash. But it's a good cup of tea anyway. And quite reasonable at £2.40. Unlike the entrance fee into the observatory, which is £16. That's expensive. That's expensive. I don't mind paying an entrance fee, but it's got to be justified, it's got to be affordable. And just because the government, I was talking to one of the staff there, but just because the government have cut their funding, it doesn't mean you have to put up your prices and price people out from visiting. If it had been sort of £7 or £8, as it was to get into the Clink the other day, the Clink Prison Museum, I would have gone in. But I can't justify £16 to walk around a museum, and only a small museum at that. So, yeah. But they're lost really, because they've just lost £16 or whatever the entrance fee would have been if it'd been more reasonable. So there we go. But shortly I'm going to head back into town and see what else I can discover here in Greenwich. But first, I'm going to finish my cup of tea and then go and look at the views, because the views from here are supposed to be, well, they are, because I just walked past them, really rather spectacular. Very splendid views, similar sort of views as you get looking over London from Primrose Hill, just the other side of Regent's Park. But we'll go back and look at the views just as soon as I finish my cup of tea. I love a cup of tea. Well, I did enjoy my cup of tea and a welcome rest as well. But I'm going to head back down into the centre of Greenwich. But before I do, I'm going to stop and look at the view, which is just ahead of me. And wow, isn't it absolutely spectacular? Wow.
Yeah, that's it. If the traffic is bad, it can be.
See the museum, the City of London, and down towards the O2 Arena.
I know where my door was. I don't think you.
Must be one of the best views in London. Who needs to go to the top of a skyscraper or a church tower to see a great view of London? Absolutely wonderful. Yeah. And it's not raining, which is brilliant. I'd hate to be up here in the rain under an umbrella. We put a bit of a dampener on the occasion, but yeah, very pleasant today. I
I decided to catch the bus to another part of Greenwich. Bumped into those school kids again coming out of the park, and they were going in the same direction I was. So I thought I'd jump on a bus and come down here towards the O2. It looked really impressive from up on the hill by the observatory. And I thought, well, I've never been here. And the only time I've seen the O2 is from an aeroplane. Well, and on films, of course, because it featured in the 2002 film Die Another Day. I think James Bond crashed his speedboat into the roof of the O2. But I've just been having a walk around. It's absolutely incredible in there. Shops and restaurants all around the outside, theatres and cinemas. And even though there's not many people around today, it's absolutely buzzing here. So I can't imagine what it's like when you've got thousands of people going in to watch a concert. Wow. But let's have a walk around and we'll see what we can discover here, all around the O2 Arena. Brilliant place. Found it a bit noisy down by the O2. Seems to be people sitting up on the top of a crane, having a party, playing some loud music. So I escaped and I've come down here to the river. And I'm so glad I did, because there are lots of little boats to look at. And you know how I like to look at boats and that are moored up on rivers and in marinas. It's lovely down here. You can see the Thames flood barrier. I can also see the Emirates Air Line. I think it's called an airline. I know Emirates has an airline. This is the cable car system which Emirates put in. It looks jolly inviting. Well, I can go back that way and catch a DLR from a different station. So I'm going to catch this skyline. It's called a skyline, and head across the Thames on my way back to Stratford and to catch my coach home. So let's do that. But wow, what a day it's been. Started off on a boat going down the Thames, walking through Greenwich, and now I'm walking down past the Thames again. I'm going to cross the Thames on another mode of transport. How absolutely exciting. Just walking up to the front of the Emirates Air Line, and I find this massive aircraft engine. It's huge. It's from an A380, and it's absolutely huge. I've only ever seen one at an airport on an aeroplane, but I haven't seen one close up. And it's massive. And they've got one here in London. How cool is that? It's actually part of the aviation experience in there. And you can go in and you can actually pay some money and try and land an A380 simulator. Sounds like great fun. It sounds like an activity for another day. But now let's head up to the front of the Emirates Air Line and take the cable car across the Thames. Greenwich is brilliant. I've got to come here again. I've tapped in with my Oyster card and I'm about to go up the steps to board the little pods. I haven't been on a cable car for ages. I'm trying to think when the last cable car I went on. And I really can't think. I think it might have been in Macau back in 97, 96. Wow, this is so exciting. Wow, this is absolutely brilliant up here. The views you can see for miles. This is definitely the way to travel. Wow, absolutely incredible. I think I must find some more cable cars around the world and catamarans and because I've had such a fantastic time today travelling by boat, by bus, and now on this Emirates skyline. It's absolutely incredible. But perhaps just lost for words. Absolutely brilliant. This is definitely one to do on another occasion. So next time I come to the East End of London, I'm going to start my journey here and travel back up to London on the boat. Absolutely brilliant. Well, I've had an absolutely fantastic time exploring Greenwich, travelling down on the boat, and of course the cable car here. If you enjoyed my trip on the cable car, then I'll drop a link in the description below to the full video, which will be on my transport channel, and you can watch the full experience in that video. But thank you so much for watching and for watching my series here in London. I'll shortly be going off somewhere else to have another little holiday. So stay tuned, please hit that subscribe button, leave a comment so that I know that you've seen this video, and I look forward to seeing you for another adventure somewhere very soon. Thanks for watching.